So welcome everybody to this session concerning collaboration between research, R&D and industries. So today we'll have a session hosted by XR Wallonia HITT. XR Wallonia HITT is the Walloon regional ecosystem of actors active in immersive technologies. We are supporting several sessions today concerning XR in industry. So this morning we had some industrial use cases, and now we are talking about collaboration between research and industry, and afterwards we will talk a bit about XR training in industries. We are expecting to find some partners at European level. So if you guys have some ideas of collaborating with Walloon actors, if you are whether in industry or XR studio and you want to collaborate with Walloon actors, you can take contact with us or come at booth 508 in the shed to contact us. So today, the panel that we have will be about the collaboration about XR in industries and with the research, but also with the startup and all the R&D ecosystem. So the first person that will take the microphone is Anne Barré from GSK. Welcome, Anne. We have also Deloitte, represented by Mathilde, and we have also from CrossTechXperience, Bérengère, that will take the microphone afterwards. So I won't be too long. The idea is that we will share some experience about this collaboration, and then we'll discuss about the challenges, and we have an interesting presentation from Deloitte about a maturity assessment of the different projects and in the perspective of the collaboration between R&D actors. So first, Anne, I will let you take the lead. Do you want to sit or do you want to come here?
I can stay.
Like you want. Maybe here you will see
here.
later.
Okay. So my name is Anne Barré. I work for GSK. I'm based in Belgium, but I'm working for a global supply chain technical learning team. So that's for manufacturing. So that's what we discussed this morning. I'll be very pragmatic because for the industry, especially in manufacturing, what we like, that's the return on investment and the value of it when you have a project. So we don't do POC. We do POV, proof of value, and we directly go to implementation and pilot. So what we have, we already are pretty advanced because we have 4 applications within the GSK cloud. It's totally in our system because it's much more easy to scale and much more easy for the connection. Because we are a pharma company, regarding cybersecurity, our systems are very protected. So we have the VR manufacturing simulator, that is the, that is the first one that we built. It was about aseptic behaviors, and then now we move with robots, and we move with also packaging lines. So there's a reason why we changed the word. It's not anymore aseptic, but it's really manufacturing simulator. The VR site 2, you can see the picture there. That's a digital twin of a building where you can have either individual visit or multi-user visits. And the feedback that I received was, oh, I'm really immersed in that visit. If I do it in real, I don't think that I will be so focused on what I've seen. So that was really a good feedback, and we were really happy to have that one. We moved with the end tracking, and I will explain why during the discussion. For all our application, we have also a VR EHS simulator. This one is really for dangerous situation. You can be crushed, you crush your fingers, you can be burned. You select the place where you want to be burned. So That's really cool. You go to the emotion, and when you go to the emotion, the learning retention is very high. The last baby is augmented reality, as you can see on the video. It seems obvious, that's a common one you see, but no, it's not obvious. That's really a fantastic tool that we have, because all the people, for all the application, they are autonomous to create their own content by themselves, very easily. In 15 to 30 minutes, they have a task done. So they can have their instruction, they can have their video, they can have the arrow, the waypoint, they can scroll down on the SOPs that they have, the validate SOP, they can call an expert on the other menu, they take the menu and they place it wherever they want. And that's all our process, so that's the reason why also it's in-house. We have integrated AI. For sure, at the beginning, we had voiceover and translation. Now we have Gigi, the little robot that you see. This is the GSK AI. So you can have a personalized pathway. If you ask a question, Gigi will answer you based on the knowledge that he has. We go further. That's not yet developed, but we will go there with that application. We want to have the process confirmation, because having your instruction is good, but being able, as we are integrated, to go back to your execution system and saying it's done and it's well done, that's the goal. So we are in a learning transformation with AI. So the reason why we want to let the opportunity to all our SMEs, our subject matter experts, to do their own training by themselves. So for all our application, you can see on that side, on my right, the left, they have to select into the library the 3D items. And then when they have selected the 3D items, they can fulfill it with liquid. They can select the color. They can put a stamp on it. They set the scene in the bench. And then they go back to their computer. They write down the instruction. And the VR module is ready for production, connected to the LMS, to the learning management system. On the other way, we also have connected extinguisher. And that can be easy, because you have seen a lot of connected extinguisher in other providers. But I can say to you that I wanted to develop this for France, because France, they have an expectation to do it yearly. And when we started the project, I came there with a Belgian provider. I won't say his name, but they arrived there and the battery was not charged for the extinguisher. So they were joking after that, yeah, you are coming with something that is not working. So that's the reason why we contact Altiria. And Altiria, they developed this. It was totally new for them in terms of research. And the last point, we also developed pedals connected to your lines. You can stop the lines and you can make the vials turning. So that's where we are, and more to come.
Yeah, maybe just a word concerning the collaboration with those actors. So you talk about SMEs and so on. What is just, in generally speaking, before getting into the challenge and so on, what is the way you are acting with them, you are collaborating with them? They come to you, or you are presenting them some challenges?
Every time we come with a business case. That's really based on that. If we don't have a business case, if we don't have KPIs, if we don't have measure, we will not start any project. Mm-hmm. Except for the augmented reality, because we start with one, and after that they have the opportunity to select their own task by themselves after that.
Yeah, and the idea is that you want to have the ability to take the product and to internalize, because basically you are really working internally on those XR projects. Huh?
So that's built by the provider, Cobocto or Alteria, and that's our application. So no license, open to everybody on GSK. The reason why we also put it in the cloud, we scale it this year on several sites, and in 2 minutes they had everything on their site, everything was ready. It was wonderful compared to the beginning, because we started in 2017. It was not the case at that period.
Yeah, we'll talk about the good practices later. Thank you, and it's tremendous. We see that you have done a lot of things now, and even we've been here last year, and I see that there are new stuff coming. Okay, great. Maybe I can ask you to pass the switcher. Yeah, thank you. So Bérengère, you're working for Technocité.
Yes.
And you are responsible for the CrossTechXperience. Can you tell us a bit what is CrossTechXperience and then show us what you are doing?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So CrossTechXperience, it's really a project we developed at Technocité with several partners in Hauts-de-France, Wallonia, and Flanders. And it's really at the crossroads of education, research, industries, and creativity. And it's actually what we wanted to share today. It's how we match, well, researchers, talents in AI, XR, gaming, and companies to help them understand how those technologies can solve challenges they have. And for this, we go through a process. It's the second year we are working on CrossTechXperience, so it's a 4-year Interact project financed by the European Union and Wallonia. And we have different partners, they're all listed down there, from universities to research centers to schools. And the interesting part is that we start by, informing the companies on what those technologies are really about, and starting with use cases. So this year we were at the Kick Festival, where we gathered companies to show them everything that can be done with XR and gaming technologies. Actually, well, Deloitte was in the panel to also showcase this. And then we do the co-design process, putting a workshop together with methodologies to help companies express what are their challenges daily, their constraints, what they need help with, and we bring all that to a hackathon. And so a hackathon is like 3 days where you put researchers, students in different fields, such as business development, developers, artists, designers, and also the companies are there to help work on the developments. And they start prototyping. And at the end of these 3 days of hackathon, we select 3 prototypes that are then pushed forwards. So this weekend there was the hackathon in Mons, at UMons at Le Clic, and we had 60 profiles gathered in 10 teams working on challenges from 8 different companies. And it was actually, well, of course, it's students, so we learn from the first hackathon. This one we still learn, like, for the next one to be better and to better serve the industries. But for example, Alstom was there, and at the end of the weekend, they said, well, what was done during the weekend, it's something we couldn't have done internally. So it's really putting together different profiles, and that really help addressing challenges and knowing how those technology can help maybe in something that they wouldn't have thought before. And then, well, everything related to prototyping, we also support the projects with some mentoring, some helping them understand, like, business models to develop entrepreneurship. And we also have a type of unique part in our project. It's related to artistic residencies, because well, R&E, it really helps pushing the limits of developments, and sometimes it gives ideas to professionals thanks to artistic developments. And we have a music tech part of our project that help artists to go further with those technologies. So, well, we are going to discuss that further, but the interesting part about this project too is that research have a lot of things to bring to industries, but sometimes it's not easy to have those two worlds meet. And for example, last year with ADEO, Leroy Merlin, it's a big retail company in France, they had an issue with the sales person when they have to provide information to customers about the many different tools they have in their stores. And we help them address that through digital part of their brands to directly identify something similar to what you presented earlier, like a tool, and be able to give information. And when we presented that prototype, they said, oh, that would be also useful for other departments, like the kitchen part, the bathroom parts, and there are things to build on that. But then at ADEO, they didn't have the knowledge in the company to push the developments forward. So that's something also we find that we need really to cross research and industries to help where each one has advantages that can then help with innovation and also competitiveness.
So the use case for Leroy Merlin was having the ability to have a training on the commercial aspect of all those materials, and they actually needed those XR experience to train their people. Huh?
Yeah, and we added artificial intelligence layer that wasn't really something they had thought of, and that's also related to the ecosystem we belong to. And we work with HITT, XR Wallonia, and we have projects like Wall for XR and things like that, or we have different profiles that it's not only students but also PhD that can then add a layer to the developments that then get more interesting and innovative. So, but again, it needs to be something that is ready to use, and all that still needs some adjustments. And that's why those European projects are interesting, because you can start with the methodologies, the different partners of the ecosystem, see how it works and improve, and then really help the companies better as the developments are made.
Yeah, and I recall that you've been into a hackathon also in the beginning.
Yes.
Hackathon is very interesting in terms of awareness of your team. Training. We talk about Alstom. We had some experience with Alstom this morning. So the first step is maybe trying to collaborate through hackathon with those kind of XR talents. That's the first step, and then after that, when the awareness is there, you have to integrate them. But then it comes to your really business to business action. Huh?
Yes, either we do an hackathon or either we launch an offer. And in 2017, we launched the offer. We had 10 suppliers who applied, and we asked them to prototype something. And at that moment, we saw the value of all the people, and we select.
Okay. You continue to do that now through hackathons, or now you're more like tenders stuff?
We have suppliers that are very agile and very innovative. So we can do, for a dedicated business case maybe, but...
yeah, but it's kind of continuous hackathon now with them, because you... Okay, great. Thank you. We can go through you, Mathilde. So Mathilde, you are working at Deloitte. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yes. Nice to meet you also, Mathilde from Deloitte Digital. and particularly working in the XR team. So we are well known for the consultancy work that we do, but we also do XR projects. We're a very passionate team, a small team, but very passionate. And I think what you both said resonate really much with what is happening also at Deloitte. So we really try to work in collaboration also with research centers, but also universities on certain topic, as we try to also dedicate, we try 20% of our time on research and development to make sure that we can also propose interesting and relevant use cases to our clients. So research and looking for innovative topics is really also part of our job. So this is why we developed our maturity framework, also in collaboration with an intern that is at the moment doing an internship in our team. So this is where the collaboration is very important. So we work on this framework because we saw that across our projects and across the experience that we have, we saw that it's sometimes difficult for clients to see the value adding of such innovative projects. It's sometimes also difficult to see how that would be integrated within the processes, within the habits that the clients have with technologies that they better know than XR. So we thought about developing this framework, which gives you a view on where you stand compared to the industry benchmark, but also give you strategic recommendation in terms of where to go next, what are the logical steps. And for that, we really worked on the collaboration between our expertise as a company, working with client face-to-face, but also the academic approach, where we also need all this knowledge to build this framework. But we will discuss that a bit more, I guess.
Maybe tell us a bit about the five actors, because the people can see in the audience. So
indeed.
You have, I see, readiness, adoption.
So the idea with this framework was to map the industry in which you are, and looking specifically at the use cases that you have been developing already, or that you plan to develop. So if you see the maturity framework there, you see there are different dimensions that are taken into account. Can be about the value and return on investment that you have observed from your use case, or that you want to observe with future use cases. Can be about the readiness, because I think it was one in the conference this morning that change management might be very important for such innovative project. But also other dimensions like technology. Which technology are you planning to use, or are you using at the moment? And very important also where you stand compared to the industry benchmark. So based on the use cases that you have developed, or in the industry in which you are in, how do you stand compared to other companies in the same industry? And what we did is that we combined the data, so from the company, but also data from experts across different industries, so experts from research centers, but also university, to collect this knowledge and make sure that we can have this benchmark and specific recommendations from both sides, from the company side, but also research data.
Yeah, and so when you're doing those projects in companies, what are the challenges that you face? Is that more the return on investment aspect? Is that the readiness of the expectation in terms of readiness of the tool? What is the starting point, the most challenge that you face when you are working on that, Mathilde?
I think what Anne mentioned at the beginning, the point of value is very the proof of value is very important. We see that with a lot of discussions that we have with clients. It's very nice if we can show them interesting projects or interesting proof of concept, but they really want to see the value of these projects because it's an investment, so they need to see the value out of it. So that's why we also spend a lot of time doing research on these innovative topics, building proof of concept, and this is also where we collaborate then with other partners. But the idea is really to develop these proof of concept to make sure that we can go the next step facing the client and proposing them relevant use cases that can bring them value in the end.
Yeah. And you are trying some hardware and so on. So your point of view of that is that you're trying to find the right, not the most hype one, but the one that would be the most efficient and the most ready to be implemented, I guess?
Yeah, of course. So we are technology agnostic. So depending on the use case or the challenge of the client, we always will try to find the perfect solution. If it's to scale up or if it's a more premium experience, we will not advise the same headset. But this is something that we, of course, test on our side with our developers and within our team to make sure that we can advise the right headsets in the end.
Okay, thank you. And what is your point of view? What is the challenge in the collaboration with those actors? We are talking, you are like using this vitality and this innovation coming from the company that you are in business with, but what are still the challenges that you can face in the collaboration?
We resolved a lot, but at the beginning it was really challenging because to launch a VR modules in a pharma company, yes, for sure, you can connect to the SaaS, okay. But to visualize what you see in the headset with a GSK PC, forget. That will not work.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why we build this ecosystem, to have everything integrated in the GSK environment. And now in one click it's done. So that's with ArborXR also. We have ArborXR, and that's really great to manage the headset like this all over the worldwide, because that's not only in Belgium. Easy to use. My main challenge was at the beginning, if you remember, the HoloLens, you need to pinch. For you, it's obvious, but for the shop floor people, it's not obvious. They have to. They prefer to tap, to use it like your smartphone. If they can use it like your smartphone and scroll down, that works. And that's what there's a reason why HoloLens was far away now. It's far away. And we have another solution where we just tap.
Yeah, but you told me that in the selection of the tool that you want to have now, you want really to avoid all, you need hands-free solution.
Yeah. Also, we have hands-free solution every time because there is a real value. If you are handling a vial, if you just grab with the controllers, that's not, you're not mimicking the real life.
Yeah.
If you grab it with your hands and then you move and you use your pipette to validate a pipette, a multi-tray pipette, you have to do it like this with your dump. Good luck to do it with a controllers. Huh? So that's the reason.
And what about the challenges that you face with all those 3D objects today? Is still complicated for you to integrate?
That's the main point that is still, because I've seen some 3D with Meta, so that's great. You have an apartment, you have a chair, but in our company, it's stainless steel, so it's very reflecting when you need to scan an equipment that is 100 meters long with several equipment, and you need to interact with a roller like this. That's challenging for us. So we have to redo the 3D scanning of the equipment because the equipment, reason of the IP, they don't want to share their files. So it's a pity. If the European community can have a library where we can take the 3D asset and maybe pay for that, no worries, because if it's cheaper than to redo. We are redoing the stuff. The other pharma company are redoing the stuff. So it's a pity.
Yeah, so that's collaboration, not only with the research department of solution providers, but it's about the people who are providing them their real industrial tools they don't provide you the 3D assets that you can work with. That's the point.
Not every time.
Yeah, so maybe
Yes.
there's room for better collaboration
Yes.
with the provider of the hardware to provide the 3D assets. That's
Yeah.
it. Okay, thank you. Bérengère, what is the main challenge you face by trying to put all those different profiles into collaboration?
Well, it's always the. I think I'll come back to what you were saying, like having something that's really clear when it comes to objective behind the developments to make, because the different profiles we work with, they all have an added value, and I think that was experienced this weekend during the hackathon, because we had researcher with really high level knowledge of the technology. Then we had designer, like game artists. We had also business students, and it's always to make them understand what the company wants or what they need, and because they will all go to what they know, but then bringing them together, having something really well prepared, help actually identifying like their points of common like work that they can actually answer and going out of the box, because often things like they refer to, it's something they learned at school, and then it's bringing all the experience, having experts around, and so it's really like people not talking the same language that we have to put together and make them communicate, and it's really short time, so it's also a way that to work on those hackathons, to express that people need time for those developments. Like working 3 days with those different profiles, it's really rich, but it's only a start. Then it needs to be worked further with different expertise, and that's when also like the companies, like they have to understand their readiness as well compared to the development. And I think your tool you're developing is really interesting, because then companies can put themselves in perspective of where they are and where the collaboration with different profiles we research can bring them. But then like it's a long way, like with different like competencies you need to bring at different steps, and all that like research know their research part, the industry, the companies, they know what they do, and now it's like to put like blocks together, and that's what I like about the developments that we do in this project, is that we have those technological blocks that can actually be used in also different sectors. So sometimes you develop something in one sector and then you work on another project and you're like, oh yeah, what we did there, it could be used also in that sector, and how we make things really, it's proactive. It's something that we are going to develop further every time we work together. And so that's why the importance of collaboration, like on these research projects, working with the industry, it's really key. Like if we want to innovate and not just do like everyone like little things with their own competencies on their side, but bringing all that together. And it's challenging, but it's really rewarding and interesting.
Yeah, so what you mean is that now we are basically at the middle of your project, Interact project, yes. And if I understand well, you face like challenges either at the company industrial side and also at the more creative side. Everyone has to make his own pathway towards the collaboration. It's not, we cannot only say, okay, the industrial actors are not open enough. We can also say that the creative studios and the consultant has to put themselves into the shoes of the industrial too, in terms of ROI and so on.
Yeah, and I think the hackathon is really, and some of the people here in the room, like they have been part of it, so, well, they were part of it, so they know, like, some of the projects, like companies brought, well, a topic, and the students, like, they didn't have the right competencies to answer it, so it's like something that has been developed that doesn't correspond to what the company was expecting, so we learn from that, and we have to update and improve, like, for this. But then also some students, like, you know, they know a lot, and they bring to the company some things they didn't expect. Yeah. So it's really, well, that's where we need to build from those experience what works, what doesn't, and then can, at the end, like, have a methodology as well that can be used. And it's interesting to know that GSK has got those hackathon as well. And, you know, there's a lot of what we think that research can bring to industry, but industry can bring back to research as well. And we need to well, work on those connections.
Yes, thank you, Bérengère. Mathilde, this morning we saw with Thomas an interesting use case at Nestlé, and I recall that at the end he showed us that there was a kind of more emotional aspect with this bird going to the nest of Nestlé. Is it what we said is that we first need to be able to provide to the industry some real business cases and ROI and hard skills and so on, but at the end it's possible to bring more creative and more emotional, because it helps to bring more by emotional, or by taking the advice and the point of view of the user, you can provide better experience. Do you have some example or best practice that you identified in your framework in terms of what are the value added of some creativity and so on? Is this something you take into account?
Yeah, of course. So indeed, it's nice if we can bring the relevance of the use case by itself, but the point also with XR is to create experiences that are also different than other ways of communication. And one of the powerful tool of XR is also that it's memorable. You were mentioning more retention as well for training. I think that's something that we take really into account when we develop a project, being for training or for immersive storytelling, like the example with Nestlé. And it's really important for our projects and for our clients that we really take the user perspective throughout the project from the beginning to the end. Thomas was mentioning a lot of testing, but it starts really from the beginning with all the projects that we do, that we start really not putting ourselves in the shoes of the user, but really talking with the users, talking with them to know what they want, what they are facing as challenges for training, or for example, visiting a factory where they need to travel quite far and it costs a lot of money. But what is the information that the user want to have in this experience? Because in the end, the most important is that the solution will be used. Yeah. It's not always nice to have this innovative project, but the important aspect is also that the final user likes the solution, and if the user will like the solution, they will also use it. So that will also bring value for the company in the end. So, of course, we take that into account a lot, and I think in all of our projects, so I don't have a specific example in mind, okay. But it's something that we take into account in all of the projects that we do.
Yes, thank you. So a last word from each of you. And we see that it's pretty continuous project actually to provide those XR experience in JSK. Do you have some advice to the audience if there are industrial actors that want to start, and if you can say something to Anne BARRÉ like 7 years ago, what would you say to her to say, okay, be patient or rush sometimes, or what?
You need to be patient for sure,
yeah, sure.
But for me, XR is not a POC anymore. It's proven that it works. it works for VR, it works for AR. So you need to bring measure. You need to bring measure and value for each business case. And then if you have your measure, you will have the budget to develop it.
Yeah, you told me Arbor is bringing you KPIs, and this is
Yeah.
really relevant to you. So
Yeah.
one advice for the companies, for the project leaders or the startups is to integrate KPIs from the very
Yes.
beginning, maybe.
And direct connection to the LMS also.
Oh yeah,
So that's also nice.
today it's a must-have for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We need
Thank
to
you.
track the compliance stuff.
Yeah, sure. What would you say, the advice that you will bring maybe to the audience? You pick the kind of audience you want to address, but what would be the key aspect that you want to share with the audience?
Well, I would say that XR, it's really something that's going to bring innovation, but it won't work if you're not part of an ecosystem where you can go and get like the expertise from different profile. Like we just said, like creativity, it's important, but also like I know that this CrossTechXperience project wouldn't work if it wasn't of all the partners we always go solicit. Like you talked about, well, XR Wallonia, like we work like with Wallonia Music Tech. We have got partnership like with other research universities, etc. So it's really important to be part of an ecosystem if you want to drive those projects forward, because by yourself it's you will have access to all innovation, but then you need like different minds to put together and work on that and really work for those advancing in the projects that are also coming with the Horizon Europe, like building projects like that to benefit to both research and industries through the ecosystem.
Okay, thank you. And the last word for you, Mathilde.
Yeah.
In terms of maturity, what would be your advice for the actors to grow in maturity as soon as possible?
So first, scan the QR code to
Yeah,
know
I
your maturity. No joking. I would say so. Coming back to the collaboration between research and companies, that, as Bérengère said, the combination of both worlds is really important. I also come from an academic position before Deloitte, and bridging really the knowledge of academics with industries is really important. But as you said, they both have strengths, so we need to also leverage on that and bring the perspective from the industry for the practicalities and the challenge that clients are facing, but also the knowledge that academics have on this innovative topic, and then bridging this gap between both is really important. And for companies to grow also in maturity, I would say having this strategic view on XR and not only seeing it as a nice to have or an innovative tool just to have in the company to make sure that we are innovative, but really seeing that as part of the long-term objectives and integrating that with the processes and making sure that the users are really using the solution. I think that's also an important aspect.
I would add something that on our side, it's linked to smart manufacturing now. We have smart training buckets, so it's on the way.
Yeah, and that was not the starting point, actually. Huh? It was, no. Great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will say that I'm very happy that we have so many ladies on the stage. The organizers tell us you need to have ladies on the stage. So today we managed to do it. Thank you very much, and please keep the audience in touch. Please feel free to address the panelists, and I'll let you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.